Good morning, students. Today we will learn how to connect MySQL database with a Python application. Actually, in real world, data is required to be stored permanently on the hard disk. This can be done in two ways. First, by using data files, another by using database. Here we are using MySQL database as a backend to store the data permanently, because whatever data we enter during the execution of a Python application, it is not stored permanently. So we require some storage medium to store the data, where data can be stored permanently and which can be retrieved at any instance of time. So here we are using MySQL database to store the data permanently. There are some steps which are required to be stored the data permanently on the hard disk by using MySQL as a database. First, you need to require to import the package which is required for connectivity. The package is mysql.connector. So mysql.connector is a package which is required to be imported in Python application in the current working environment. Second step is to create the connection object. Connection object establishes the connection between the Python application and MySQL database. In connection object, you need to use the function connect, which takes parameters as host, user, password and the database. By default, the host is localhost and the user is root, and the password is that password which you have set in your MySQL server. So you need to write the password of that. Then you need to write the name of the database which you want to connect, means the database in which the tables are present from where you want to perform the query. So first step to import the package. Second step is to establish the connection. For that we need to create the connection object. Third step is to create the cursor. Actually, cursor is a database object which help us to retrieve the data. Means if we want to traverse the data from a table in the database, then we need to create the cursor. As we see the cursor in Windows or anything, basically cursor is used to move from one point to another. In the same way, a cursor is required to traverse the data from in the result set. So third step is to create the cursor. To create the cursor function is required. Third step is to create the SQL string and to execute it. SQL string can be created according to your requirement. Whatever data you want to retrieve, that can be executed in the form of SQL command. As you have performed many SQL command in the last chapters, so you can write any of the SQL command according to which data will be retrieved. After that, you need to execute the SQL command. To execute the SQL command, the function execute is required. Now the next step is to fetch the data from the result set. Result set is the memory area where data gets collected after the execution of the SQL statement. So to fetch the data from result set, there are many functions provided by SQL. First is fetch all, fetch many, fetch one. Fetch all function fetches all the records present in the record set in the Python application, and fetch many fetches the records which we specified in number. Suppose you want to fetch 5 records, then you will write fetch many in bracket 5, and fetch one fetches the records, fetches one record from the result set. One important notice here, the data which is fetched from the result set is in the form of list of tuples. Remember that the fetch function, fetch all, fetch many, fetch one, this fetches the data in the form of list of tuples. So list of tuples will be fetched from result set into an object. We can use any name of the variable. We can use any variable to fetch the records. After fetching the record, we can print it or we can perform any of the work after fetching. After that, last step is to close the connection and free the data environment. So these steps are required to make a connectivity program of Python as front end and MySQL database as back end. So let us summarize the step. First, we need to import the package. Second, we need to create the connection object. Third, we need to create the cursor. Fourth, we need to write the SQL string and to execute it. Fifth step, to fetch the data from the result set. Sixth step, to close the connection. After performing these steps, the data of the MySQL database will be fetched in the Python application where we can use it. In the next video, I will tell you how to write the commands, and please execute the command in your system so that you can get the proper knowledge and proper working functionality of the Python connectivity. Till then, thank you.